Hey, I'm John Creemans. On this special edition of the Odd Planet, we're going to review the movie Star Trek. All I can tell you is Star Trek lives.
Space. The final frontier.
This is as real as your so-called life gets.
First, right out of the gun, I gotta tell you, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I mean, heck, even here on my desk, I have my replica phone from 1998. It's a signed William Shatner piece. Anyway, so you can see I'm kind of a Trekkie. I have to tell you, all my life I've been a Star Trek fan, okay? And as a host on the Home Shopping Network, I had the chance to do many of our sci-fi shows. So I've had the chance to meet William Shatner and others that were part of the Star Trek crew. Here's the thing. You know, I didn't know how this movie was going to go. I didn't know what it was going to be like. We saw the video. We saw the action. We saw all these new characters. Well, they weren't new characters. They were just new faces playing characters we've known pretty much all of our lives, right? Can I tell you, my initial reaction when I walked out of the theater, I was awestruck. I could not believe it. I have never seen, and in my entire life, any Star Trek movie that has come as close to emotionally welling up inside me, like ripping my heart right out of my chest, as this movie was. And I'm not kidding you. I've seen them all, right? I mean, I loved when we saw Contact, when we saw the first Vulcan Contact. I thought that was real kind of a welling moment, especially if you're a big Star Trek fan. And certainly the search for Spock and Ricardo Montalban. I mean, some of the most amazing characters we saw in the previous movies. But there was nothing, I mean nothing, like what I saw today on an IMAX screen in front of me. Star Trek, I tell you, lives. If you've not seen this movie yet, you've got to go. I mean, I'll even show you some of the video clips I found on the internet. I mean, just to get you excited. But if you're a real Star Trek fan, you've been excited for months waiting for this movie to start. The movie theater that I was at was completely packed, and I went to the one that's there's a Veterans 24, which is off the Veterans Highway north of Tampa, and they have an IMAX screen. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely incredible. If some of you were looking for spoilers, and if I was going to tell you too much about the movie because you haven't seen it yet and you want to go to see it all, I'm not going to tell you anything, okay? There's absolutely nothing I can tell you that you haven't seen in the video clips and the little promos that they've been doing over the last few months, okay? There's a lot of great stuff outside of that. Some of those scenes were really cool, but unlike other movies that always put their big cool ones out hoping to get you into the movie theater, those were good, the ones we've been seeing, but there's so much more once you get inside the theater. I'm telling you, the excitement's real. I could not believe how I felt when I watched that movie. From seeing Kirk take the chair for the first time and seeing some of the other things that we've heard about in the news. Maybe you've heard some of the clippings that Leonard Nimoy is going to be in there, and you kind of wonder how they're going to work him into the story. They did it the most amazing way possible. There is no other way to tell the story of the young Enterprise crew. There just isn't. And what this movie did is what I hope it does for you when you go. You've got to go see this movie. Now, for those of you that think I'm just kind of ranting and going, well, because I am, and I have to say, it's unbelievable how I feel. I mean, let's take a look at some of the clips. Some of the clips that are on the internet that we'll put right up here on our screen. And then you and I can sit back and watch it. And if you don't like it that way, you know what? No, you know what? I can put them up there, but then it's just too small. You're not seeing the whole thing. So let's just make it widescreen.
Seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
The
into space.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
The Eagle has landed.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Space. The final frontier.
You can settle for less than ordinary life. Or do you feel like you were meant for something better? Something special?
You will always be a child of two worlds. The question you face is, which path will you choose?
Are you afraid or aren't you? I will not allow you to lecture me. Then why do you stop me?
Prepare to fire all weapons.
I like this ship. It's exciting. Buckle up. The wait is over.
Here it is. Basically, you gotta go see the movie, okay? If you've not seen Star Trek before, even if you're new and you've just heard a lot about Star Trek because you're younger, you gotta go. You're gonna be wanting to know everything about Star Trek by the time that movie is over. It has definitely reinvigorated the franchise, and I would be willing to bet over the next 10 years, we're going to see a whole bunch of Star Trek movies, and it's gonna be absolutely exciting. Oh look, it's the Enterprise. Holy cow, it's coming back for a second look. Well, I'm a big Star Trek man. And those of you that know me, that have been in the home shopping industry for years, you know how excited I am about today. Well, this is just one of the collectibles that I have. I have walls. I have signed lithographs. I have signed photos. I even have right to the left of me over here a Star Trek Generations it's the actual movie script signed by William Shatner. And over to that side, I have Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, signed by Leonard Nimoy. And then I have, well, things you can't see on the walls. Some other things from Star Trek Next Generation, some of the original series, all signed lithographs and pictures. I'm a big Star Trek fan. You've got to go watch the movie. Hey, thanks for watching this movie review. The first time we've ever done one for Odd Planet, and you're part of it. So go see the movie. Until next time, you've just experienced the Odd Planet Spin.